Wasn't that Heather? Wasn't that
I
Heather
feel
with the
like
salad?
throwing her leg on the table had more going on.
Oh, that was funny. That was so funny. So Aviva
Yeah,
is
you know, bring Amy in. Let's spice the show up.
All right, you guys, we got to talk about Real Housewives of New York, season 16. All 6 cast members are coming back. What's up? It's Randomly with Ronnie Jr., along with Jesse from Next Mood Swing. Courtney, you've seen her talk about Sai last season in a very good way.
Yeah.
What's up? Welcome, you guys. Can we get random for just a second, please?
Hey,
Absolutely.
thanks for having me.
So the backstory is we did a Next Mood Swing episode, so that's a ton of fun. Please go check that out. Jesse, you also not just have your regular channel, but you have a new podcast. How exciting has that been for you?
Yeah, it's been great. So we got Next Mood Swing as the overall podcast, and then we do this weekly review live stream every Thursday on Next Mood Swing, the YouTube channel.
And Courtney, who came on a couple episodes last year on this channel, and she said, you know, Sai's really amazing. And I said, is she? And episode would go, and Courtney was right. Courtney was always right.
Team Sai from way back in the day. Scout this on Instagram for like 12, 15 years, however long it's been. She's that girl.
We were sleeping on her. Absolutely. Okay, your guys' overall thoughts. We'll do a couple things here. Overall thoughts on season 16, all cast members coming back. You guys give me your thoughts. And then I have something really fun in the way of taglines. I mean, I think it's fun. What did you guys think of all of them coming back? Were you anticipating this to happen this way, or do you want new blood, or what's up?
Jesse, you want to go first?
I mean, I'm excited for it. Honestly, I think the last season was great. I thought it started off really strong. I got a little in the not the middle, but like towards the middle. I started kind of like tapping out a little bit, and then I forget something was going on with me because they split it. That's what it was. And then I fell back into it. Their trip really pulled me into the show. I feel like I loved all the dynamics of all the different girls. Obviously, like a little part of me wanted the aesthetic of the legacy women involved in some way. But I like the cast. I'm happy everyone's back in the groove.
Back in the mix. I 100% agree. I was thrilled. Okay, I was like sitting on pins and needles because I thought for sure, sorry guys, Gigi wants to cooperate and speak as well. I thought that Jenna Lyons probably wasn't going to come back because she definitely made some comments that made it seem like, oh, she ain't coming back. And I felt like she was a super valuable asset to this new team, even though people are like, oh, she doesn't give enough or whatever. I'm like, what are you talking about? She gave us a lot. She gave us her personal uncomfortableness with herself. She gave us her personal history, like with her mother and like the weirdness of that, her coming out story. Like I felt like she did give us a lot. And also she just looks great. And I know people were mad at her for those jeans on the reunion, but I thought she looked sexy and great. And I loved it. And it felt like New York to me. And obviously I don't live there, but I've been there quite a bit over my life. And I don't know. I like all of the women. And like you said, I'm a Sai fan way back. She was one of my Instagram faves back in the day when I used to host a fashion podcast. But wait, are we supposed to talk about who we want to bring in yet? I don't remember. But I'm just glad everybody's
Courtney, you do whatever you want. You're always in charge.
I don't remember if we're there yet. But if we want to sprinkle some of the legacy in, I've said this before. I think that Sonia would be a good sprinkle in, just because I think Sonia and Dorinda would be good sprinkles, and maybe the Countess. I don't know. One of them might need to just be a friend because that's a whole lot of women. But I think that it would be cool to give a little bit more of a nucleus in terms of age, closer to Jenna, so that Jenna doesn't feel totally like I'm like the old one and these women are much younger, even though they're not that much younger, because Sai is in her 40s, and Bree and them are like later 30s, and I think Erin is the youngest, and she's still like mid 30s, early 30s. But I would like to see, I think Dorinda could be interesting, and I think that Sonia could be interesting, and I think the Countess would be a good sprinkle as well. So if we're picking some of those or all of them, I think those three would be the three that I would play with.
I love all that. And going off what Courtney was saying, Jenna didn't give anything or enough. She showed the inside of her mouth. Like, I don't know what
But
else
she
you
was
need
like
to
taking
see.
her teeth out, and like it was
I
real.
mean, anyway, so I want to talk about who of the old Jesse, you could weigh in on who of the old cast members that you would like to see join if they kind of do that. And even if there's cast members who, well, essentially they wouldn't be cast members, but who New York
Of any of
women.
the, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any opinions on that?
I mean, I agree. I feel like Sonia would be great. I think Luann could work. I don't know about them together because then I feel like it's almost like they're too cartoony together in comparison to the other girls. But I think it would be really interesting. Dorinda would throw them all for a loop. But I would say out of all, if I was to pick, I would pick Sonia. And then honestly, I would throw in somebody like a Tinsley, a Kelly, or I mean, dare I say Aviva, honestly, like just to really like watching Kelly on Legacy made me realize she just is this she's sandpaper. And I think actually Kelly would be for me a better fit, like not a better fit in a good way, but like it would be an interesting fit to see her with these women, this group of women. I want to see Sonia because I just love Sonia and Luann, but I almost feel like they're too cartoonish and animated in comparison to this cast, where Kelly, I feel like the drama and the butting of the heads would be from such a different energy. And that to me would be interesting.
You do make a good point about Sonia, Dorinda, and Luann. While they will be great because they know how to make great TV, they almost know how to do it too well. As whereas when you see Kelly create good TV, you're just like on a journey. I mean, her talking with Kristen and sort of being like unbothered, but like, no, like I'm okay, I'm good. Like she's just the most bothered, but also unbothered. But I low key stand her as well. Like it's like my mind is going going in several
Like, can you
spaces.
imagine Jenna's side eyes to her in every episode?
Yeah, oof. I just feel like
I don't want to. We don't want to
Kelly
see
is
her. I know.
she's on Mars, like, and they are all on
Oh, it's a
Earth.
hard no for you, really.
It's a hard no with Kelly because I feel like Kelly is incapable of actually connecting in real circumstance, and I think they are way too real for her. Like it would be too, it just wouldn't, they would just never, like I just feel like that bridge could never be drawn. And I know that, like, I totally agree that Sonia, if Luann also was there, like it's a whole cartoon situation. But I do think that Sonia showed us when Ebony was on the show that she can ground herself and be open
Yes.
to what's not her normal life, so to speak. And I think that would be more interesting to watch, which is why I was like, Luann maybe can pop in. I don't know that I want to see her all the time because I do agree, like them together might be too much. But I mean, Kelly is.
But now that you bring Ebony up, actually, Ebony I could see with this group, and I feel like it wouldn't be as trying to, like where everyone was saying like Ebony's trying to teach every episode or whatever. I feel like it would feel, I mean, she's on a show with, again, cartoon character, women who know how to play the game, and Ebony's coming in as this authentic person. That's what this cast gives me. They give me more down to earth, authentic energy. And that's where the mess of Kelly to me would be interesting, but I also could see Ebony on the show. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see Ebony get her due on Housewives because I don't think she got a fair shot, and it might be interesting. But I also understand if it's, I don't know that she bridges the gap when they're not actually friends, because I feel like if Ebony was going to be involved, if they had built the new reboot around Ebony, I think that might have been better because Ebony is a real chick, and like I don't know that she wants to or would dive into this well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would she even want to do it? Obviously,
Right,
great
no.
platform, but I feel like if that ever did become a thing of conversation, yeah, like her own series. I mean, just out of sake of shows that have already been on the air, like a reboot of Blood, Sweat, and Heels or something where she's the driving force. Because it just feel like too many opinions were from that season 13.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be, it would be hard for her to get in there unless she wants to do it, you know? What are some of the other older, former rather cast members? Carpenter Barbara, who's on Ozempic. would she make a good fill-in? Have you seen how small she is?
No,
She
not
got the little
recently.
bobblehead.
Oh,
Oh, skinny little thing. She can't even pick up the hammer no more.
oh my God.
Well,
What about
anyways,
like
there's a lot of
Heather Thompson?
She
Heather
could.
seems to drive people nuts, but
Yeah,
But that's
I don't know
but that's the
why.
thing. I feel like that's the thing with like someone like a her or a Kelly, in the sense of they don't have that. Because again, I know it's coming across like I'm saying like this clownness, cartoonness, but like there's this roughness to them of like not authentic. Like Kelly is authentic. She's authentically like
a
ick.
mess. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that is what almost for me, because would spice the show up and actually make the group of the girls a little maybe stronger, because now they have a new person to be like, what the heck? This girl is out of her damn mind. I don't know.
I feel like no matter what they do, they should run a block. And I usually don't like blocks too much because it's too much of the same kind of programming. However, Carol Radswell will never come back to the show.
I know, but I love
But
her.
I want her to do a People's Couch by herself, but no other person. She doesn't even have to bathe. Like, I just want Carol's off the cuff reaction to the silliness that is season 16, because I feel like it's going to be good.
I want to be on the couch with Carol having that conversation.
Done.
I love her.
We'll talk about a couple other things, but season 16 is going to no doubt have some amazing taglines. And, you know, production, they just decided to send me the rough cut of some of these taglines. So I was going to read them. Follow along, okay? I want your guys' opinion of what is destined to be, but it may not make the final cut. The season 16 taglines for the Real Housewives of New York, now that we know that at least all 6 cast members are coming back, and some either newbies or some legacy. We will see. Okay, here we go. You guys are the judges on this, okay? So for season 16, this is what's been bubbling up. So for Sai, this is Sai's tagline. I used to be the most rotten apple in the bunch, but maybe if you fed me, I wouldn't be so hangry.
I support that. I'll give that a
yeah.
What's our scale? 10 stars, 5 stars? What are we on?
I'll take the 5 stars. Yeah, 5 stars.
I'll give that a 4.8.
Okay, these are just rough drafts, you guys. Yeah. Rough drafts. So Jenna's potential tagline next season is going to be, so you thought my gifts were insincere. Well, now you're getting nothing more than just me, Judith, and you might not even get that.
Okay. I'm gonna hit it with. I'll hit it with a 4. It was catty. Okay. It was.
I'll give it a 4.
It was a nice give and take.
It's a little bit long, but I think
it did feel long.
Buckle up, because these are all. Yeah. Have you heard how much I talk? What I wanted to say though about Judith, Jenna, is what seemed funny. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. How there's just such a notion she's got to give more. She's got to give more. She's got to give more. You've got to understand, if you have a certain cachet in an entire industry and people respect and love your work, you don't have to do everything. You could easily walk and make, a bag elsewhere. So I never really liked the notion that Jenna was, thinking she was something bigger than she was because she wanted to fly first class or whatever. I feel like we were getting in the world of Jenna. It is not everyone's world. And I think peeking into that was good. I loved going into her apartment. Yeah.
That vintage Mercedes that she drove up to the Hamptons with at Aaron's house. I was like, yes, girl, this feels like a Ralph Lauren ad. But
And that's to say, I wasn't even sure how she would do on Housewives because of how messy the show is. Because I did love and watch every single of the HBO Max show. So, like her own reality show, which was more in the space of design. I was like, okay, maybe that's more her lane. I don't know if she'll do good in Housewives, but by the way, she did good. I definitely
And
didn't
I
think she
think
was
it's
maybe coming
it's
back.
polarizing to have someone like her on the show, you know, and I think that's what her energy is being used for too, production wise.
Coming up with another tagline. So this is Aaron. Some say that New York City is the center of the universe. But how is it that I ended up the center of all the drama? Let's read that again because that was terrible. This is Aaron's new tagline, season 16. Some say that New York City is the center of the universe, but how is it that I ended up in the center of all the drama? So going
I'd
off
give that 5 stars, honestly. I think that's
because
with that.
one thing about Aaron,
Mm-hmm.
we can't wait to hear Courtney.
You were standing Aaron all season.
The way when I talk about Real Housewives of New York, Courtney will be on. She'll just be right every time, and I got to just like eat it. I just like so timeout. We've got to do the bias. So the bias, of course, comes from. I always got to do the bias, right, Courtney? Hold on. This is why I used to love. Well, I still love Erin, and I'm going to talk about her in a second. But hold on.
Here's Ronnie, also from LA, with a question for Erin.
Quick question for Erin. Loving the season. Why do you think Brynn said on Watch What Happens Live that you couldn't be trusted? And where do you stand with her today?
So my bias, yes, last season I was like, oh, I love Erin, and I still do. But the reason that tagline, I wrote it that way. I'm sorry, the production sent it to me. Yeah.
Right.
The reason I wrote it that way was because what I like about her going into season 2 is somebody who was so assured of how everything was. And I feel like she did get, some bumps and bruises along the way. But I feel like at the end of the day, she's still a really cool chick. And I feel like we are going to get some sense of learning, seeing how the world really works. And she still is fun and she still is opinionated, but it may change a little. And I feel like we're going to get growth because of that. Are we in agreement that Erin might have a good second season, or are you kind of like?
She had a great first season. She was the center of the drama, and she was an important asset. I didn't like how she came at Uba, but it's okay. And we want her back too. We were glad that all the cast is coming back.
Yes.
And I think that the way that the tagline is fits her in her not knowing how she got here.
Exactly. Her. Oh my God, what did I do?
Oh,
so I'm gonna give it 5 stars.
Damn.
I support that too.
There was the naive. There was the what did I do? Oh, Erin, we still love you, Erin. Oh my God. But that's the thing. You do a show or you put yourself out there in any way. Sometimes you think and I'm saying this from experience, you think you know who you are. And sometimes there's like little changes that you could make. And I think it was really healthy that she saw it because she really did see it. This one was modified a little bit. This one, but because I don't know the actual answer to this, but let me read it and then we'll talk. So this is Uba for season 16, the tagline. This is a rough draft here. If you think my business is hot, just wait until you see my second season glow up. Okay. You guys could rate, but let me just tell you, I was going to go in the vein. I'm sorry. Production was going to go in the vein of you think Uba, like my business of Uba hot is hot, but my second season, because remember, we got the tease that she's now dating. So I was going to go in that vein, but then I searched on the old Instagram and I didn't see no said man still in the picture Instagram official. So then I was like, oh, that took my whole, the whole concept. So I was just like, at the end of the day, she's going to have a season 2 glow up, but I was going to go off hot business and even hotter relationship, steamy relationship. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to give that a 4.
You're generous.
Nice. I was generous
because Jesse's over here at a 1.5.
I was 2, 3.
We got that
I was like
background theory though.
The
we got
backstory.
The theory behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, Uba is hot, and the glow up. She's already the glow up. Uba is.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
can you come off top and come up with something? What would you do for Uba? A second season tagline.
If I was Uba's tagline, I would be like, "You thought I was hot last season, honey. I'm still hot and hotter than you can handle."
Oh yeah,
right
something
now.
along the lines of like, yes, like don't try me like you did
I
last
will.
season.
I like that. That's got to be worked in. Okay, we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
I'll work on it.
I want to say though, it is her delivery because of the taglines last season. She was the one that like stuck in my head almost every time. Though the darling, what was it? The secret ingredient, darling, it's me. So simple, so
Yes.
fun, and it was like when you hear a song, an earworm. Every time, every single episode, Uba was the one tagline that kind of stuck.
Yeah.
So we'll see how her second season is gonna go. Very excited about that. Brynn. Let's see. So Brynn, season 16 tagline. This is the rough draft that we are hearing, and we're getting your viewpoint if you like it or not. So for Brynn, season 16, I may be smarter than you look, but I'm also more beautiful than you would ever imagine. I'm everything. I'm trying to do it like Brynn. I'm trying to do the cadence, I'm everything. She had a good one last year.
Hers is hilarious. I'll sleep with your dad.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I'll give it a 3-4 because I'll give it a 4 because everything ties it in.
I need another performance of it.
You need what?
I need another performance of it.
Okay.
Yeah, give another performance.
Okay. Let me get into my naughty Brynn side. I may be smart.
You can't laugh, Ronnie.
Because once you get your inner Brynn, like the world changes.
Get your mark.
Okay. I may be smarter than I look, but I'm more beautiful than you'd ever imagine because I'm everything. We were close. We We floundered at the end, but I liked the beginning. So
I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
I'm at a 4. I'm at a 4 with that one.
It was the concept of don't judge me, book by its cover. She was the one who was like, I'm intelligent, but you think you only see the va-va-voom. And then I thought it was a little interesting in regards of stating like, I'm smarter than you think I look or something like that, but it being like, but I'm actually more beautiful, which would mean therefore I'm more smart. I'm more smart. I'm even smarter than that. And then, yeah, I'm everything. This is not an easy segment. This is why I don't play games or do segments because they drive me nuts. They're so corny. But listen, I tried. For.
Well.
I like it. This is good. I'm having fun.
Okay, so
I like rating things.
The last one. Well, here we go. We got Jessel. The last one. Let me read this through. Oh Jesus! Did I even finish?
Oh,
okay. Oh Lord, let's just try.
Everyone forgets about Jessel.
Away. Jessel was the trash one. She don't even get a finished one. What? Oh.
Her tagline is, "You might have forgotten about me."
Side note, Jessel.
Damn, Jesse. Damn.
Jessel looks fire in their promos that they have put out, and clearly she's on her like post mommy come up even more. She looked amazing, but Ronnie got her a whack ass.
This is going to be this is going to plummet. Jessel, I do like you, but here we go. Jessel season 16. She's a delight. She has been a delight. She was a delight season 1. Fun. I like her. Okay, Jessel. I put Tribeca on the map. I may have put Tribeca on the map, but I plan to do the same thing with the Real Housewives of New York reboot. What in the fuck is that? That's just a sentence, dude. What is that? That was terrible.
I mean,
let me try it again.
I like the Tribeca part,
but I plan to do the same thing with the RHONY reboot. Like,
I feel like that's in line with her energy.
Well, it might be because the promo of all 6 cast members coming back was all in the basis of her.
Exactly.
Is it here or is it happen? What was it? I don't remember. Oh, it's there. It's there. Tribeca it's on the come up. No, not yet. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. So clearly there was something infectious about her, but I couldn't come up with a tagline. Jeez, I don't know.
She's tough, but she's beautiful. And I'm
Yes.
excited to see her again and be all in her fashions and her husband. And I think they're fabulous.
Okay, but now we got to do the breakdown. We got to get to the science of why Jesse said, "You may have forgotten me." That was the end. Jesse, what's
I
up?
was just going off the fact of her whole thing was like she felt out of the group last year, and it's like she felt like forgotten about and left, and then I forgot
Mm.
about her too, and then Courtney forgot about her, and then
I didn't forget.
well, you know what I mean. Just in this moment, we thought, oh, we got through them all, but it was more like, you know what I mean, because she does. I do like her, but
Mhm.
it was funny that was like a thing, and then but she does have this strong personality. Like, I mean, even something if it was about her, like how she was like recording all the notes or something like that. But I'm taking note. You may have forgotten about me, but I'm taking notes.
I like that. I
Mm. Yeah.
like that.
She no doubt is good. My worry with Jessel is not necessarily season 2, but maybe like seasons 5 or 6. She does seem like, and I guess it's not a bad thing, but she just cares about the show so much.
She
And I
does.
just wonder what type of, those cast members that like really like studied the show. It's nothing wrong to want to be on it. I'm
Oh, it's
gonna
gonna
say
give like a Heather Gay.
something in that vein where you're just like you're constantly. I will give production what they need because this is I can't actually be the real human that I once was. And not everyone has that. They all love the show, but like I think
Right.
some cast members have it a little different and that identity starts to become too tied into the show. So that would be something I'd worry. Jessel might have another 2 like really funny seasons, really quirky seasons, but I definitely think she should look out for, just pacing herself because, it's not easy.
And
I was going to
Pace it
ask you
on.
guys when the announcement came out that there was going to be the 6 returning full-time cast members, we were excited. And of course, we were just playing there with those fake taglines. Hope you enjoyed it. We're talking about like, legacy cast members coming back, and we kind of brought up some names. Do you guys have any newbies that you feel would be good? I wrote a list of just a couple. These are the similar ones I usually always mention anyway. I'll name mine, and then if you guys have some newbies you think would be good for the show, shout them out. So for Real Housewives of New York season 16, if they do bring in some newbies, I've said for a couple years, I think the city's Olivia Palermo would be good, because she does have like a certain, with the fashion, and she's kind of got a sternness about her, and she's not necessarily like she won't necessarily be, she'll just be stuffy. And sometimes you need somebody to be very stuffy and very confident and very headstrong. So I would like to see Olivia Palermo. Cece Sabathia was a Yankee. His wife, Amber Sabathia, she seems to be mixing and mingling and doing a lot of things. And she does a lot of really positive events for the community too. And Cece, such a Yankee, I feel like that's a nice little tie-in. I mean, he's retired, but nonetheless. And then this one is a little bit, let's just try. Because it seems like she's back on the East Coast now. Adrienne Bailon, do we feel like she's too young?
no, she's
I don't
in
think she's too young, but
she's in Brynn Sai age bracket. She's late 30s. I wouldn't be mad at that, but I'm not excited about that.
Is it too much of an outside identity coming into a show and you kind of rather not know the people as much?
it
Not
only from
necessarily. Oh, go ahead.
oh well, I was
No,
gonna
go
say
ahead.
for me it is because she has such a hosting personality. Like I feel like that's just how she is all the time. And again, what I like about this group of girls, and kind of in the same vein of Sonia and like Luann, I feel like she would bring in this energy like me, like, and it's like, okay, like almost like she's been in TV for so long, she knows how to guide a scene. Like for me, that would be my worry with her and the energy that she would bring, where these women, it feels more grounded, and I'm excited to kind of be in the grassroots of figuring out what their relationship and dynamic is going to be like. I feel like with Adrienne, that's why it wouldn't excite me.
I feel that, but I would like, because I'm not totally like against like a name, so to speak, because honestly, this may be like crazy, wildly unpopular, but like I would like to see like a Bevy Smith alongside
That's been mentioned, yeah.
Alongside Jenna, because they're in the same age bracket, but also bring and like in the fashion world for different reasons, but like super big personalities that will like, I just feel like Bevy would bring Harlem to it and the full blackness to it that isn't quite there, even though obviously black and, you know, Sai's Puerto Rican, but like it gives it rounds out the New York City-ness for me, and I just feel like she's fun and her energy would be cool to see her interact, and she would not be able to be herself, even though she obviously be in the industry. And I feel like she would, you know, tell the girls and read the girls and enjoy herself and show the girls another side as well. And I would like Bevy and Sonya to join the cast. Those are my two choices.
Bevy's been a great choice, but I feel like I've heard her say she wouldn't want to do a show like that.
I'm pretty sure she has.
You know, and that's that same thing with Jenna. It's like when you have these higher tier, you know, successful women coming into the show, at least what the show used to be. I feel like New York is interesting because at least so far, we're not doing all of the drama based on like what was coming from a blog or like a husband's, you know, infidelity that we didn't know about, and then he was embezzling money. Like it's just, the show has gotten so much that you're losing the chance at getting really quality women, and Bevy is that. And so maybe Jenna really kind of opened up that door to make, you know, there could be some comfort, because I don't think going into it, if you were Bevy being approached, I don't think, what was it, season 15 last year? I don't think Bevy would look at that show. I don't think she'd want to do that show because it was a mess. But then the season that we just had, and it's starting to be elevated a little bit, you just get a better chance at a better group of women, not thirsty. You know what I mean?
That's accomplished women and it's not just like drunk middle-aged women on the Upper East Side showing how, which is, look, I actually think on some levels that's still revolutionary, and that's another whole conversation. But I do think it is now more about accomplished women living their lives in New York and being professional, but also being dynamic and interesting and fun and doing things. And it's not just about, oh, I married a count. Oh, I'm trying to, you know, whatever. So I don't know. I think it's a space where she would fit now, even if the check was right. I bet Miss Bevy would consider.
Oh, well, that's a different story. I liked last season, you know, even though I don't know how authentic some of the things were per se, but like you would have, you know, so-and-so going to this jeweler and this one going to, you know, a showroom for this, you know, clothing line or whatever. Like there was just a lot of movement that we haven't had on really any of these shows. I am tired. I'm almost tired of Vacations, by the way, on the, you know, the 3-episode Vacation. Like I felt like there was a lot of movement, and I think that is such an important thing for all reality TV, but specifically New York. I mean, I think Jessel, she went to one of her friends, and that was a designer, and it's just so on and so forth. They almost all up the ante on fashion, which I just thought was like so put on the back burner for, and mind you, I love Sonya being as silly as she wants to be, but that was just all we were getting. It's like, we get it, she can be drunk. And so
exactly.
Like we've seen it once, we've seen it 1,000 times. Jesse, what do you think? Any cast members that you have in your head that would be perfect for the show?
No, because I would want like serious people. Like I would like love to actually like scout that for real. So like in my mind, like jokingly, I was like, I could see like throwing in like a, not Julia Fox, but like an Amy Robach. Is that the one with the
Amy Robach with TJ Holmes? Why would that be low-key perfect?
I would
feel like her energy, it would be a good storyline too, because they're still dealing with the divorce and the separation, but then the togetherness, and it's a way for them to have some sort of platform where then it would be interesting to see how she is as a girl's girl and age-wise, and she's, you know, had a career for a long time, and he would be I'm sure want to be very involved in it, like in that aspect, almost like he'd be like the young Peter Thomas of it. Like,
You cast Amy so you get TJ on the show. Yes, I see that.
Yes, so I would say out
That
of
one
like
is-
without knowing like because I would love like a new like a young model or somebody who's out here really doing it. I would love it to be a woman of color. But off the top of my head, because I don't really pay attention to New York influences like that, so I would think entertainment wise, mine would be Amy.
Yeah. And I do like what you're saying. And it's funny because I mentioned like Olivia Palermo from The City and Adrienne Bailon. My choice of like Amber Sabathia made sense just because like the movement, she dusts up a lot of noise in a really positive way, but she's not like a name yet. And I really do feel like that's what made the show so good. We didn't know Brynn. I mean, you knew Sai, Courtney, but we didn't really know them.
Because she didn't speak, so we didn't even know what her voice sounded like. Like it's just
right, or the husband or whatever. So I think the it would be cool to be in that casting process to bring some newbies, some just fresh stories. But if we had to do some mess, Amy Robach would be, because are they ever going to get back to the cachet that they once had? You know what I mean? Like, are they ever going to? I mean, I always want, and I love a Larsa Pippen, reality TV, icon. But they were interviewing Larsa. Wait, no, Courtney, not yet.
Courtney, you should go watch his. You should watch his first. You should watch his whole. He has a whole episode for Larsa.
I go in detail. But my point is, you imagine you are. I mean, I'm only going off Jesse coming up with a great idea. They can't seem to navigate back into the space they once were. And okay, fine, they go do their passion project, their podcast. You would think it was on a certain level. Now they got like Tom Schwartz, so they're talking about Vanderpump Rules. They got, as much as I like Larsa, they're talking about Larsa. Like, it's just kind of lower. Nobody cares. Yeah.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. It was interesting when it broke, and then they are horrible people because of what they did, and then they're just going back to being regular people because they're not on TV anymore. Nobody cares.
Yeah, but when you lose a whole
people
career,
would care if they were on. People would
if
care
they come back and get
if
like
they
a
did
Housewives.
a Real Housewives, it would be. And to me, that's the only out of all the Housewives franchises that would. I mean, that's because obviously they lived there, but I couldn't see them on Jersey or
And nobody's listening to their podcast for real. Well, let me stop. I don't know who's listening to their podcast. Let me shut up.
Well, they said it was a passion project, so that should tell you. I mean,
that's bullshit. It was another option because you got fired, and so you're trying to capitalize on this mess. And you capitalize for what, the first 2 episodes on the mess, because they like talked about it in a fight, and then it's like, okay, yeah, let's interview Sandoval.
And I don't want too much drama to go on for them because of the journalists that they once were. But you do got to think, you said young Peter Thomas, you do got to think that if the show was casted with Amy, and then let's say the numbers didn't do good that season, you've got to think that TJ at some point would say, well, let me give a call to Brynn. Start some maneuvering with Brynn.
I feel like it don't take the show for him to do that.
Yeah, like,
the word on the street about TJ was that TJ is fun.
Oh damn!
And
he's
Amy,
fun. He's fun and fine. So you know what I mean.
Fun and fine, child. And Amy done gave up her whole career and her husband for a fun man.
Damn,
Mauricio.
Oh man, this show is a mess. That's all I got. Do you guys have any other opinions for season 16? This was just a really fun, talking about taglines. Let us know in the comments what would be your tagline for these cast members for season 16. Which of the legacy cast members do you want to see come back to the show, if that's going to happen? And is there anyone out there that really doesn't have like that gigantic household name, but is kind of doing something well, has a wonderful story arc, because it's not about storylines. It's about a story arc. Thinking back, like with the Heather Thompson, I always thought Heather at least had a lot going on in her life. And I kind of like cast members like that. Oh, damn. Damn.
I know she made the other version of Spanx, but what was happening? I don't remember nothing about Heather except she annoyed everybody.
I knew I should have never ended that sentence like that.
I just remember the cat meme. Oh, wasn't that Heather with the salad?
Throwing her leg on the table had more going on.
Oh, that was funny. That was so funny. So Aviva is
bring Amy in. Let's spice the show up.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Jesse said, casting director extraordinaire, Amy Robach and TJ Holmes. You know, in that episode that Jesse just told you about, Courtney, where I talk about Larsa, the episode is now that Larsa's not with Marcus, which of the many men would be a potential suitor?
And in the list, it'll be somebody in the basketball world.
I want Odell Beckham Jr.
Like, you know,
Odell Beckham Jr.
In my list, though,
football. That's not gonna work.
It's not gonna
but
work.
It would be drama because he plays supposedly
football
with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, and she only does basketball players because all of her kids play basketball. And
Spice it up. Maybe it hasn't worked in basketball. You need to.
Future was like an anomaly, so she's got to like swing it back.
Everyone wants a taste of the future, apparently. So
apparently,
I don't get it, but you know, sorry.
Whoa. It don't. It really don't.
I mean, from what we're hearing, I don't know. No experience. But sorry. All right, then we turn this show into another thing. Sorry.
What's in Larsa's future? No. We're done. We're done talking about. We're clearly done. Real Housewives of New York.
Of success.
Real Housewives of the SEX. No, but for real, I'm looking forward to season 16. Thank you guys, and that wraps it up for me. Any last words or promotional stuff, Courtney?
Nothing. Just follow me on Instagram at Stewart Starlet, and love you guys and hope to see you again soon.
Jesse.
Boom. Thank you for having me. Make sure you guys follow Next Mood Swing, YouTube, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and all the above.
And make sure you check out the episode that I was on Next Mood Swing. I think I've done 2 of them so far. So go to the YouTube channel, Next Mood Swing. But that was it for now. We are out of here.
Bye.
Bye.